Today we're going to take a look at this Chapter 1 quiz. So, write an equation in slope-intercept form that passes through the 2 points. So the first thing we need to do is find our slope. So our slope equals, let's see, our y, so 3 minus negative 2, as we take those y values, and then over our x values. So 4 minus negative 1. So 5 over 5, so our slope is 1. Then there's a variety of ways we can solve this. I tend to put things in point-slope form. So y equals, maybe I'll take this first point, y plus our slope, x minus x1, so x plus 1. And now all we have to do is distribute and solve. So negative 2, not solve, distribute and simplify. Plus 1, so negative 2 and 1, negative 1 plus 1x. If we take a look at this second one here, write in standard form. So at the top here it has to be an ax plus by equals c. So the first thing I notice is we have to distribute, so equals 3 plus 2/3 x, and then 2/3 times 4 minus 8/3. One thing about standard form is it doesn't have fractions, so we can multiply the entire thing times 3. So 3 times y, so 3y. 3 times 3 is 9. So then we have plus 2x minus 8. And standard x's and y's on the same side, so minus 2x minus 2x. So we have 3y minus 2x equals 9 minus 8 is 1 if we combine those. The third one here, the domain and range. So domain, so we are going to cross this way. Let's see, negative 3 to 1. So our domain, negative 3 to 1. Or we could say, if you were using inequalities, negative 3 is less than x is less than or equal to 1. And then the range, the high to low, so here's our low and here's our high. So negative 4 and 0. Or negative 4 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 0. And even though there's an open circle at negative 3, it contains 0 at 0, 0. So this next one, I know there was a mistake. This should have been plus 3. So it moved it back 3. So our domain would start at negative 3 to infinity. Or you could say x is greater than or equal to negative 3. And then the range was above 0. So y is greater than or equal to 0, or you might have said 0, comma, infinity. So this piecewise, let's see. Let's start with negative 3x plus 1. We were to make an xy table. We use this when x is greater than 2. So 2, 3, and 4. So if we plug in 2, again, here's that inequality, I think, for that one. Hopefully I have them right. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6, plus 1 is negative 5. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9, plus 1 is negative 8. Negative 3 times 4, negative 12, plus 1 is negative 11. So this would be a closed circle. So we have 2, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, negative 8, so 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's going to go that way. And then we have 5 plus 1x. And it's greater than 2, but we'll still put 2 in this table. But it's, excuse me, x is less than 2. So 1 and 0. So 5 times 2 is 5 plus 1 times 2, so that would be 7. 5 plus 1 times 1, so 6. And 5 plus 1 times 0 is 5. But this would be an open circle because of our inequality right here. So we have 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1605, and then we have our piecewise function there. So on this next page, we're asked to find g of 3. So if we plug that into our g function, 3 squared plus 4, so we end up with 13. And then f of x minus 1. So our f of x function is 5 minus 3x. So f of x minus 1, so we'd have 5 minus 3, but instead of x, we're going to put x minus 1. And we just need to simplify it. So 5 minus 3x plus 3. So we have 8 plus 3x. Next we have g of f of x. So this is g of 5 minus 3x. So if we plug that in there, we're going to have 5 minus 3x squared plus 4. But it says simplify without parentheses. So now we have 5 plus 3x times 5 plus 3x plus 4. So if we multiply that out, 5 times 5 is 25. And excuse me, these should be minuses. So 5 times negative 3, negative 15x. Negative 3 times 5, negative 15x. Negative 3 times negative 3, so that's 9x squared plus 4. So if we simplify, we have 9x squared minus 30x, 25 and 4 plus 29. So the vertical asymptote, we could either graph this or we could look in our denominator. So what makes that denominator equal to 0? So that would be when x equals negative 4. Number 9, find the inverse. So we're finding the inverse of f of x equals 5 minus 3x. So we switch the x and y. X equals 5 minus 3y. And then we have to solve for y. So minus 5 minus 5. So x minus 5 equals 3y, negative 3y. And we divide by negative 3. So x minus 5 over negative 3 equals our inverse. Then the inverse of h of x. So we had h of x equals 2x over x plus 4. Make sure I got that right. 2x over x plus 4, yep. So we switch our x and y's. So x equals 2y over y plus 4. Then we're going to multiply each side by y plus 4. So if we distribute, now we have xy plus 4x equals 2y. Now we need to get y's on the same side. So we have 4x equals 2y minus xy. And now we can factor the y. So y, 2 minus x. And then we can divide by 2 minus x. So we have what our inverse is 4x over 2 minus x equals our inverse.